You're a Filipino, you've just heard about opportunities teaching English in Thailand, and you're interested in the job. Let's see what you need to do so that you can land the job and get to Thailand. Good morning. This is part 2 in the video series for Filipinos who wish to become English teachers in Thailand. In part 1, we talked about the documentation required to do English teaching in Thailand. In this video, we're going to talk about the processes for getting to Thailand. There are several ways that Filipinos can come to Thailand. The first way is probably the easiest way, and that would be by jumping on an airplane as a tourist and flying into Thailand. But it's not without some complications. The first complication for Filipinos who want to try and fly without an actual visa in their passport, just flying in as a tourist without an actual visa, is you're required to have a two-way airplane ticket. You have to have your ticket back and forth, or an exit out of Thailand. And that's a requirement for visa-free travel. If you don't have an exit or a return ticket from Thailand, the airline won't allow you to check in for the final leg of your flight from the Philippines to Thailand. The next complication arises after you've checked in, you've paid your travel tax, 1,620 baht. You've paid your terminal fee at the airport if it wasn't already included in the price of your ticket, and you get to the immigration counter where they examine your passport. Quite often, in spite of the fact that the Bureau of Immigration, the BI, says there is no policy for offloading, there may not be an official policy to offload, but there is certainly an unofficial policy to offload, and flights from Manila to Bangkok, coming through Naya, whether it's Naya 1, 2, or 3, typically they will offload between 5 and 25% of the flight. So there's a very real risk of being offloaded from the flight, and if that happens, you lose your airplane ticket. It's just gone. There's no refund, there's no cancellation, there's no rebooking, it's just gone. So that's something to be aware of, and I'll put some links down below that discuss offloading and how not to get offloaded. But in a nutshell, when immigration is looking at people flying as a tourist, do they believe you're a legitimate, honest tourist? And they'll ask you some questions to try and determine if you're a tourist. Do you have employment documents with you? And if you answer yes, they'll send you away and you get offloaded. Do you have your degree? Do you have your transcripts? Do you have, a TOEIC test? Do you have some other documents? Do you have a resume? Why are you going to Thailand? And they'll want to see that if you're going as a tourist, you actually know something about where you're going and what you're doing, what your itinerary is. They'll want to see hotel bookings. They'll want to see a travel package. They'll want to see the two-way air ticket. And even there, depending on you yourself and how you answer the questions, you may still get offloaded. The next thing they look at is you as a person, because there are concerns about trafficking in persons and people being tricked into flying abroad for jobs that don't exist and end up in jobs that are considered human trafficking. If you're a young female under the age of 25, a brand new passport, never traveled before, and have very limited funds and no credit card, you'll be offloaded. It's almost a certainty. That's the profile they are looking for. Young Filipinos who would probably be trafficked if they do get abroad. So they'll try and make sure that you don't get abroad, where you'd be in the position where the embassy or OWA or POEA or some other government department needs to rescue you from whatever situation you happen to be in. Better chances of getting through are traveling as a group, 3 or 4 of you together, so that when you're questioned you can say, well, yeah, there's the 4 of us who are traveling together, we have the same tickets, the same itinerary, the same hotel, the same, so it looks like a legitimate tour package. You're more likely to get through, but that's, again, not always true. If you fit the profile, or if they suspect you're going abroad as an economic migrant looking for work, you will be offloaded. And again, I'll put some links to some websites and some documents that look at being offloaded and how not to get offloaded. So they'll be down below in the comment section of this video. The next way to try and travel abroad is by getting your visa ahead of time. Getting a Thai visa, a work visa, is not difficult. You contact the school decides they're going to hire you. They'll get the scans of your required documents, your degree, your TOR, your NBI, your TOEIC test certificate, and your passport. They'll go to the local education and labor office and get the letters required to show that you're going to be legally employed with them. They'll send you back the document package that you would then take to the Royal Thai Embassy in Makati and get your visa. At current exchange rates, the price of a visa is about 3,200 pesos, and it takes between 2 and 4 days from the time you submit the application with the documents from the school and your personal documents and your passport until you pick up your passport with your visa actually in the passport. Once you have the visa, that's only half the battle. That's the easy part. The next part is getting your OEC clearance from POEA. The POEA is the government agency responsible for ensuring that you're prepared to travel abroad. You understand your rights, the responsibilities, and they try to make sure that the employment situation you're going to is in fact legitimate. So they'll want to see the visa in your passport. Then they'll require you to do a pre-clearance medical to make sure you're healthy, you're not going to get into trouble while you're abroad because of poor health. Then they'll require you to do a seminar on being an OFW and rights and responsibilities requirements. You'll then have to pay various fees to different government agencies. I think OWA is about $100. I'm not sure what the POEA fee is. And PhilHealth, even though you can't use PhilHealth, they'll still make you pay for it. they may require your employer or your future employer to sign what's called a compliance certificate. If they think there's something in your contract that's not appropriate or is missing, they'll give you a compliance certificate and require the employer to sign the compliance certificate. Once that's all completed, they'll give you your OEC, your Overseas Employment Certificate. Once you have that in your hand, you're ready to fly. You buy your airplane ticket, you head to the airport, and you buy your airplane ticket, you pack your suitcase, you go down to the airport, and you're ready to fly. Away you go. Once you've made it as far as the airplane and you're on your way to Thailand, you land in Thailand, the processes are fairly straightforward. If you already have your non-B visa in your passport, you just proceed to immigration, they'll stamp you into the country, you go pick up your suitcase, make a right turn as you exit customs clearance at Suvarnabhumi Airport, go down to door 4 or door 3, the meeting point, where you'll pick up your ride to your school, and your employer should meet you there. If you're flying in as a tourist, you manage to get out of the Philippines, you're on the airplane, you land at Suvarnabhumi Airport, it's pretty similar. You'll get off the airplane, you'll go down to customs and immigration, they'll want to see your passport and your exit ticket. They may ask for your hotel, the address of a hotel in Bangkok where you're supposed to be staying. They'll stamp your passport, they'll give you a 30-day entrance on arrival, and they'll stamp an exit date. Give you your entry stamp in your passport, and that will have a required exit date on that stamp. So it'll say entered on today's date and exit on a date that's 30 days from today. And that's 30 days, not a calendar month. I proceed to go pick up your luggage and then go through customs clearance, make a right turn as you exit customs, and go find a bus, a train, or a taxi going into Bangkok. I'm assuming you have friends or somebody that's going to meet you at the airport, or you've pre-booked a hotel or a place to stay while you're doing your job search. If you've already lined up employment, then they should be there at the airport to meet you, or have made arrangements for your ground transportation to the school. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now. We'll continue this in part 3, where I'll actually talk about getting a job in Thailand, and if you're here as a tourist, getting your tourist visa changed to a non-B visa, and getting your work permit. So we'll discuss all of those in the next video. See you later.